And now to defeat this dinosaur the way it was meant to be destroyed. Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance.
Huh?
We'll be lightening your load by one, Princess. Now make like those Muskateers and scram!
Au revoir! Your Majesty! Mickey!
Sora!
I'm sorry. They got away with the princess.
Don't be. It's not your fault.
As long as we all stick together, I know we can get the princess back.
It's hopeless.
Goofy's right. As a team, we can do anything.
Yeah. Come on.
Hey, look, Mickey! There's the carriage! But there's no sign of the princess.
So that means...
Yup, she's out there somewhere, counting on us to come to the rescue.
Yeah, 'cause we're Muskateers.
And we're gonna be the ones to save her.
Come on.
Hey! Aren't you forgetting someone?
Well, good scene, chaps. But anyway, now that we're finally in the country of Muskateers good and proper, have a bit of a world to explore, dream eaters to destroy, horses that can take us back to the training yard. Yeah. Now we can finally talk about this level good and proper. As you can no doubt tell, given the whole Muskateers angle, we are once again back in Paris. Well, not necessarily Paris, but France at the very least. What is with this game's obsession with Le French one? Oh, Monsieur Croquette with the Magnet Strike. Still just as powerful as it was in Birth by Sleep and one of my favorite abilities. But yeah, all that aside though, I mean, while not exactly spacious in terms of like a lot of buildings to flow motion off of, compared to any other level in the game, with the possible exception of maybe the next one, well, and I suppose a few other examples like the grid, Traverse Town, you know, Notre Dame. Okay, maybe this wasn't as unique an example as I thought, but either way, we do have a lot of areas to explore and, you know, quite a few scene changes that help to keep a lot of this fresh. At the very least for Sora's perspective, Riku gets a bit more of a linear focus kind of thing, which they seem to split between both Sora and Riku, which is quite bizarre, but either way, it does make for a nice, well, bit of dichotomy between stuff being a little bit more open and then stuff being a little bit more focused. Because I guess either the budget was running out, or they just needed to have, well, you know, characters focus on the straight and narrow and not have a lot of redundancies, as I guess they potentially picked up on beforehand. You know, mainly in the sense of having two characters explain the exact same plot points and plot threads. But that's neither here nor there in this case. In any case, yeah, Wonder Comic. You have 3 different attacks, and I don't think I tackled it quite as well as I should have, but yeah, move the analog stick in a few specific directions, and you get attacks specific to, you know, whatever Mickey, Donald, and Goofy are doing, and bada bing, you do the thing. There's Sparker in all its glory. Several different abilities. Oh no, we're gonna get sucked up its nozzle. But yeah, all that aside though, this is around about the point in the game where enemies start to become mighty powerful, so yeah, do be careful, otherwise your health will drain rather quickly, and well, let's just say you should really be focusing on leveling up, because much like Birth by Sleep and its difficulty gates, well, this game is short, mind you, and there's not really much side content compared to the likes of Birth by Sleep or the PS2 games, so yeah, it does sort of expect you to bring your A game to this. Either be skillful, or make sure that you, well, level up accordingly. Whoa, this horse is going mighty crazy, which is really the sort of vibe I get from this music. I mean, I will admit I actually do quite like the soundtracks to, you know, Country of Musketeers, or at the very least the battle theme. It's, quite energetic, as we take on, well, the Beagle Boys, as at least I believe they're legacy Disney characters. I mean, you can sort of tell I don't know if they were created specifically for this or if they were, like, there from the beginning, because they do seem to have that whole sort of, like, you know, oh yeah, Disney henchmen, because I guess they do show up in other, you know, Disney works revolving around Mickey, Pete, and whatever else, but yeah, I don't know, for whatever reason, they are a Frenchman, and oh yeah, a bit of a British Cockney, love. So whatever, really. Anyway, just do this whole little Donkey Kong style jump over the barrel things, catch up with the other, you know, Beagle Boys, beat them up, save the princess. Squaddle-la, what a wonderful thing. And Pete is a hero in the story. Oh, happy days, I'm sure nothing terrible will ever happen whatsoever involving betrayals. Oh, the horror, as Sora is the 4th Musketeer. Dogtanian. Yeah, I'm sure we'd be glad if we could have some backup here, but I don't know, I guess given their earlier lack of skill, Donald and Goofy are off, I don't know, having a snooze. Anyway, this is you know, Vaginal Licker's ability. Poison Bubble Burst. You meant to collect them all up, and I guess it would technically be more applicable towards some other Dream Eaters if it was used against them, but yeah, against the Beagle Boys, I guess they're kind of immune to status effects. It's kind of a similar factor to how you would take out, you know, Lock, Shock, and Barrel from you know, Halloween Town, where, you know, you beat them up, they get knocked down, and that's pretty much it. Kind of similar to the hyenas from, you know, The Lion King world in Kingdom Hearts 2, so yeah. That's basically all she wrote, really. Just beat up these Beagle Boys, show them the error of their criminal ways, and tell them that crime doesn't pay. Except it does, unless you get caught. So don't get caught. After all, as Dr. Kaufman said, the best way to avoid guilt is to avoid getting caught in the first place.
Sora, thank you! Princess Minnie is safe! We couldn't have done it without ya!
Sure. Happy to help.
Oh, my hero!
Huh? It's the bad guys!
Huh?
Thought we'd go down easy peasy, eh? Let me at 'em!
All right. We can do this all day.
Wait, Sora! Got any suggestions, Goofy?
Oh-ho!
You've got an idea?
And it might even be a good one, too. Hold on.
Sure, take your time.
How'd I do?
Yeah! We did it! Hooray for the Muskateers!
We did it!
All for one, and one for all! Huh? Do you see that?
What's up?
Hey, you! Not so fast!
Goofy, where are you going?
What's the matter, Sora? Hold on!
Oh, Mickey, Goofy just sort of took off.
Goofy's gone? But why would he leave his post? Not you too, Donald!
What do we do? It's a disaster!
Calm down, Donald. Start from the beginning.
The captain's gonna kidnap Princess Minnie!
What? But he's the one who made us Musketeers.
It was all a big lie!
A lie? Well, lie or no lie, Musketeers don't ever run from danger.
Then it's time for me to get a new job!
Donald, wait! Together we can stop Captain Pete.
Yeah, we're in this together.
Come on, we'll be right beside you, 'cause we're friends.
I just can't do it. I'm sorry.
Donald! Donald.
He'll be back. I know it.
Aw, thanks, Sora.
So this captain guy's the culprit. I wonder what he's up to.
What am I up to?
Huh?
I'm up to plenty.
Oh,
Pete?
Who's that? A stranger looking to be endangered. You! Mangle these yardsticks!
Captain Pete, by the power vested in me as a musketeer, I arrest you, mister!
That's a good one. Well, how's about this? By the power invested in my fist, I clobber you!
Oh, Mickey!
Sora?
Sora?
No. Donald. Goofy. Where's Mickey?
Captain Pete and his guys took Mickey to Mont Saint Michel, and that means he's in big trouble. Once the tide comes in, the dungeon will fill up with water.
And so will Mickey.
Well, come on. We gotta go save him.
Oh, but how?
What are you saying? You and Goofy wouldn't have come back if you weren't ready to save him. We're friends. Friends for life. Remember?
Yeah!
Best of friends to the very end.
Good. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah, the iconic trio are back together. Or at least they would be if we weren't stuck with the whole Dream Eater gimmick, but that's neither here nor there in this case. In the meantime, however, yeah, scenery change. Oh! And we also get this lovely world in the middle of the night. No, but in the meantime though, I guess to talk about anything else. Have I seen the movie or the comic adaptation that this was based on? No. So really, Kingdom Hearts is really all I have to go on, and well, I mean, the only thing I do think was probably copied from the original movie, apart from, you know, the vestigial plot beats, was, you know, that whole tree thing with Goofy jumping out the window, then flinging himself back. I don't know, that strikes me as cartoony enough to feel like it was from the movie, or at least from what little I've researched, but yeah, in the meantime, though, all I really have to say about the level is that it's got a lot of scenery changes. You do actually have a fair bit to do in this level, so, like, I mean, it is packed well and truly in terms of content, but yeah, putting all that aside, though, it's, you know, it's got enough plot per distance traveled. It is fairly lengthy for what you're trying to do. Sheen! And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's basically an AoE attack, really, in terms of Wonder Comics, so, yeah, like, I mean, the reality shift has, like, enough variety in terms of your combat moves to, you know, really sort of hold an, oh my god, a dinosaur! And yeah, that is actually one of the more dangerous Dream Eaters, though, so, you might want to take that one out first. I don't know, just call it a hunch. But yeah, it does also a little bit more on, you know, Birth by Sleep era level design, where there's a lot more to explore and you have, you know, a great deal of things to see and do, so yeah, like, I mean, it's not my favourite level, but it is decently designed, and, you know, I mean, I guess if you do have any nostalgia for the Disney film, well, you'll be happy as a clam, really. And I suppose, as I mentioned beforehand, I guess it does, in terms of, you know, Kingdom Hearts mythology, does paint at least a bit of a picture as to, you know, the history of what Mickey was doing as he started traveling the world and, you know, eventually becoming a Keyblade Master, you know, how he married into the royal family, I suppose, and all that kind of jazz, but yeah, it's, I don't really have many complaints, apart from these penguin enemies making their return from fucking Prankster's Paradise. Not necessarily because they're too difficult to defeat, especially at this stage in the game, and it's just really the fact that, well, I don't know, they have some attack patterns that can be rather irritating. Yeah, Dream Eater attack with flow motion, dude! Anyway, now we gotta go to the prison island de la Roque. It's got there a bit of lightning off on the island, meaning that it's threatening. It's probably got a barbecue over there with meats, onions, cheese, And some lighthearted music there to scare the pants off any kid who dares go to that forbidden island. Oh, whimsical music. Your role that I have to comment on because I don't really have much of anything in the way of nostalgia or trivia to say about this level, so... Yes, how will we pass the time? Well, I'll find a way. I always do. Whimsical! And now we also have, well, a city backdrop. No doubt reusing assets from The Hunchback of Notre Dame, I assume, just give it a bit more of a dark theme, really. Yeah, I mean, it's really a bit more of like a commute as we, you know, race against time to save Mickey from his inevitable peril, which, well, I mean, let's just say one thing, without spoiling anything, he certainly can hold his breath for a long time, so... You know, just got that one thing going about him. Ah, well. Whimsical music. Yeah, I really got nothing at this stage, and, this is what I feared. Because, without commentary, this video was just war gameplay. Oh, well. I guess if you're at least allowed one part of, you know, isn't meaningless side tangents, let it be this one. Oh, Sparker. We already have that, so it's pointless. There we go. There's Sparker in all its glory. Quite powerful attack, but it does leave you wide open and prone to, you know, getting pipped and therefore, you know, cancelling out your attacks. So, not exactly the best ability to have, but it is also Sora only and does take up 2 slots. Because it's a very needy beast, and much like Birth by Sleep, the more powerful the attack, the more slots it takes up, so... Yeah, and that among many other reasons that I'm not really too big of a fan of the command deck. Oh, what's that? You wanna utilize all Sora's abilities? Well, to balance a game, you only get 3 slots, because fuck you. It's not like balancing it out with an MP bar, or, you know, having any sort of draw mechanic would make it interesting or whatever. Junction, what be that? Taste the rainbow, motherfucker. Queased. And the editor is lagging, as per usual. Nostalgia for Skully commentary Motrons. It's like I'm watching it in Telesnap vision. It's implied that Sora is fighting. That, you probably can't see at the moment because you're probably seeing this as a very normal video, but, you know, editing it kills your computer sometimes. Should really start considering on updating this thing, actually, because, I mean, at this stage it is 10-year-old hardware, and, you know, it is starting to show its age, and its processor isn't quite as fast as I'd like it to be at times, but... Yeah, well, yeah, that's for future Skully to worry about with the, you know, the money, and the weed, and the cocaine that I do every day. A mimic that was done by another Jester Bucky. Oh, those salient fools. But to talk about anything else, though, in terms of some of the repeated abilities, as you saw with, particularly with, you know, Vagina Licker's little, you know... I guess it was kind of similar to the reality shift you had in Prankster's Paradise, where, you know, you just rolled everything up into a ball, Katamari Damacy style, and then watched it explode. That was kind of the wake-up call I really had to say, oh, so not every Dream Eater has a unique ability. Some of them are just, some of them are just there to sort of repeat on others and just sort of there to, you know, pad out the Dream Eater count, really, which... You know, I mean, I will give the art designers credit. They did design a lot of unique Dream Eaters, both as enemies and as creatures you can use, which, you know, I do kind of appreciate, because in a bit of a Devil May Cry 5 kind of way, where they have, you know, enemies you face against, but you also get to use their abilities. Well, to some extent, Devil May Cry 5, I feel, does a little bit better of a job with that in regards to these abilities, but... You know, I mean, the fact that you do get to use some of them in combat as well, for Dream Drop Distance, I do quite like. It's just kind of a shame, really, that they had to sort of double up on a few of them, or, you know, don't give you at least a little bit more hands-on control as to what they can do outside of the link-up attacks, but... I don't know. I mean, as I mentioned beforehand, it would make it interesting if we did have, like, maybe a, I don't know, a Darkness character who gets to wield the Heartless in more interesting ways, but... I don't know. I mean, I guess given the raw power of Darkness, I probably wouldn't have a character... Unless, of course, they were directly going against, you know, the Guardians of Light like Sora or whatever else that, you know, it'd be going against the storyline, unless of course I had something really interesting cooked up, but I don't know. That's neither here nor there in this case. It would be an interesting mechanic, but I guess maybe something to see in a very different sort of game. The dungeons. Delicious, stanky, poisonous water. Though it is giving me a lot of Primal flashbacks, actually, both with the, you know, the third level where you're, you know, roaming around in a very medieval setting, as well as the Ferai dungeons, actually. You know, right beneath Jared's hunting lodge. Dive, Sora. Oh, damn my compulsion to show off everything, with very little of interest to say. Let's see, any games I've been playing recently? Well, I've been playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel recently. Just kind of for fun whenever I get home from work, actually, and I've been having quite a good time with it, actually. I mean, again, it doesn't really have much to do with the story, it's really just more of like a, hey look, here's some legacy card packs from, like, the Duel Monsters anime and, you know, GX and fucking, you know, Arc V or whatever else. So again, not really getting much in terms of story context, so, you know, no penalty games for me, but I don't know, it is quite fun, at least in terms of just, you know, playing card strategy games and just sort of having something to chill out and sort of take your mind off and think about for the time being, but yeah, it's neither here nor there in this case. As for anything else though, well, I mean, I should be putting the finishing touches on the Silent Hill cancelled games video, but instead I'm too busy talking about Dream Drop Distance and trying to get this part recorded, because it is a bit of a beefy motherfucker, and I mean, I do kind of want to get this commentary out of the way and have as many parts recorded as I possibly can, because I believe at time of recording I've just finished uploading Riku's segment of, you know, Prankster's Paradise, so I have gone out of my way to sort of like record a fair amount of parts in order to, you know, sort of offset the deficit, so I do at least have a bit more time to, you know, get reviews completed, finish all the things that I have to do in terms of real life stuff, because, you know, I'm not a kid anymore. I do have genuine responsibilities to take care of, so yeah. Life's a bitch and then you die. Oh well. It's kinda like that one song in Grand Theft Auto 3 said, life is but a mere supply, a few good fucks and then you die. God, that game was very prophetic with a lot of its head radio songs. They were very poppy and jovial, but then they also make you think about life. Such as music, I suppose. But yeah, as you can no doubt tell here, you can probably tell what the link-up ability attack is with, Sullivans, I think they're called? Yeah, but they also have the will spray water on you ability, which is similar to what Stank Pussy had, all the way back in, fuck, what was it, the grid? So yeah. Whee! Sora spinning around, epicness! And that's the end of that chapter. And, oh god, finally, we've reached our destination. Not that it'll give us too much time to talk about, but, hey, regardless. Don't worry, Disney mascot will find you and save you so that you may continue to purchase other companies, I don't know, continue to sully their image. Or is it really right to blame Mickey for all this? He's just the face man, the middleman between corporate greed and, you know, genuine creative sparks from Walt, really. So, who's to blame here? Corporate executives or, I guess, the initial instigator? Interesting. If I was any better at editing, I totally would have edited in the Silent Hill 2 in water ending with Mickey's face over James Sunderland's.
Donald? Goofy? You too, Sora? You came back!
Come on, man! We gotta save the princess!
Aw, fellas. We're not even real Musketeers.
Wrong. You are real Musketeers, and don't let anybody else tell you you're not.
It doesn't matter what you wear.
Only what kind of heart it is that beats inside of you.
You know what? You're right, pals. when the bunch of us stick together, we can accomplish anything. Pete said he was headed for the Opera House, and that's where we'll find Her Majesty. Come on, Musketeers. We've got a princess to rescue.
Hey, over there!
Oi, those nitwits! The boss is gonna be mad.
Hurry!
Princess! Come on, it's time to put our musketeering to the test!
Oh, Squadala, happy, happy, joy, joy. Our team is finally back together and Donald and Goofy have stopped being pussies. Which I suppose does show a bit of an interesting evolution in terms of how they, well, I suppose bonded with the king and I guess eventually settled into their role as a, court mage and, captain of the guard, really. I mean, I suppose it does sort of make sense that they were a little bit more cowardly considering the fact that Donald and Goofy, I mean, as established in the series and as you're even going to be seeing as, the non-Dream Realm versions of the characters are actually going to get involved later, they're not exactly the most competent of heroes, but as their loyalty towards Sora later on in the series does show, well, they had a lot of things to learn, and Kingdom Hearts 1 I feel only really strengthened that. So I don't know, like I mean, if Country of the Musketeers is truly meant to be like a sort of an early day era adventure with Mickey, Donald, and Goofy as they developed into the heroes they would become in the Kingdom Hearts series later on, I don't know. It provides a nice little bit of content, nooey. Chester Baki, you fool! Steady. Whatcha? No, and all we get is health. What a shame. But regardless of such, this is pretty much going to be our final scene change. A night at the opera. Oh yes, crank out the Gilberts and Sullivans, dude. We're gonna be seeing a show. Delicious dinosaurs. I mean, we already have the recipe for it, so let's see what Donald's Wonder Comic is like. Oh, a boxing glove. I mean, if Dr. Eggman can make it work in Sonic Adventure 2, then I suppose the Donald can do it. There we go. Oh, you fucking whores. Agnes Spiral is meant to be a useful ability. Didn't exactly have that level of interruptible attacks and birth by sleep, so, I blame Just a Bookie for this. And all that horse thing. Spark. Alright, is that all the violence we need to commit against these horrendous creatures? I'm gonna say so. Because now we need to have some drop-me-nuts. She drops me? She drops me not. Oh, we also get to use Sonic Blade. Oh, an off-scene ability. Whee! Flow motion. Oh, even though we have flow motion, we cannot hop the fence, because Sora's a good boy, who doesn't break into houses and places unknown. Well, I mean, except for the Opera House, I suppose, but there's no high society people to go, I say, look at that ruffian-looking gypsy boy. We have no place for him here in this most esteemed of establishments. I cannot see him ruining the performance of Madame Butterfly. Yes, it is rather too elegant for him. Get this ruffian out, darling, before I slip you some sausage. Rather. Innuendo. Yes, in your endo, rather. And anyway, that's Sonic Blade. Very powerful ability, it takes up 3 slots, but I guess for being a Kingdom Hearts classic, well, you can understand why this place is, well, there for you to use at your discretion with the more powerful Dream Eaters. By the by, actually, this is actually one of the places I found really efficient to grind, not only because you have the more powerful Dream Eaters that you can use to get more experience, but in turn because there's also, a lot of Dream Eaters that do spawn in this place, and, if you have a lot of AoE attacks and some powerful stuff like Sparker and Sonic Blade, well, you can clean up rather good. Excuse me. In terms of any other in terms of any other exploration for the Opera House, we don't get to see too much of it in Sora's playthrough, but Riku, on the other hand, let's just say, For our current stage show that Captain Pete seems to be responsible for, let's just say Riku will be working behind the scenes. As you'll be seeing in the upcoming cutscene, but I stay my tongue. Yes, Riku gets a role as a key grip, a best boy, a stagehand, a props manufacturer, a floor runner. I don't really know what else. Boobs! A very anime-looking mermaid, actually. Oh, those Japanese and their art designers. I doubt this was in the original movie, but I don't know, the fact that you get to see boobs is all that really matters to me. God. It's a wonder that women don't watch these fucking commentaries with how crass I am. Well, some might do, depending on their sense of humor, but I sincerely doubt it. In any case, though, that's about all we have to explore from here, so let us continue and see a show. But Sora isn't finally dressed for the performance. Ah, well, we've got a mission and a princess to save, so let's begin.
The jig is up, Pete!
There's no escape.
Yeah, it's 3 against 1 now.
Look out! Huh?
What? Impossible!
Riku. Riku saved us. He's been by our side. All right. Musketeers, get the princess to safety. I'll handle things here.
Right. Thanks, Sora.
Why, you... How dare you thwart me in the nick of time? This don't add up, I tell you. Hey, over here, boys!
That's right. You'll need help.
Hey Pete, did you call an ambulance? No, Sora, why? No reason. And then Sora beats him within an inch of his life. But anyway, this is pretty much an extension of the earlier boss fight against the Beagle Boys, except this time with a reality shift twist, because by the time you beat them down within an inch of their lives, you use Wonder Comic and, well, basically have a 3-phase boss fight against Pete, and, well, you know, eventually face off against the big corpulent figure up there himself. So yeah, it's, not too difficult of a boss fight, it's just one that utilizes all the game's mechanics, and, as we continue to show off anal cunt bouncing up and down, making craters in the ground, yeah, it's not really putting the work in as much as you otherwise would like, but, you know, early game Dream Eater, you're meant to be swapping them out. Although, except for the fact that I really don't, because I love my Dream Eaters, contrary to the fact that I name them very silly things. But in any case, yeah, only one mechanic to follow. Fire him up with a cannon and, yeah, gradually wear away to Pete's ego and, you know, his sanity before he eventually decides enough is enough and decides to take on Sora good and proper. Oh, Sonic Blade, you do put the work in, my friend. It's a fucking ridiculous looking reality shift command, but I don't really care. It's just a contrast between 3D visuals and 2D that just makes it look a bit more hokey than it otherwise should. Oh, Le Frenchie! Here's all that is left. And yeah, people also sort of bombard you with the, you know, little generic explosives, but yeah, at this stage, the only difficult part of the boss fight is Pete, namely because, you know, I mean, apart from being very swift on his feet compared to his Kingdom Hearts 2 self, yeah, he also has a habit of running away like a puss, so yeah, when you're trying to, you know, whittle down his health and just end the boss fight as quickly as you can, he'll just sort of run away, offset into the crowd, you know, around the bend and behind the scenes just so we can have a little bit of a breather. Then eventually come back and face Sora good and proper, and all it really does is just sort of serve to prolong the boss fight. Yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote, really, so, yeah, anyways, we complete this whole stage play of the Pirates in men's pants to an audience of nobody, and, not in the esoteric sense of, you know, Xemnas and, you know, all this organization nobody's watching going, ah, yes, Sora, this performance gave me rather a good review, but I find your performance lacking. Yeah, not really too much to say. This is pretty much Pete's desperation attack of like, oh, I'll use this little happy-faced son. Because fuck it, why not? And, Are you meant to do anything with the, like, maybe like a reality shift or like a special attack with the moon? That could potentially be something I just sort of missed out on, but, I don't know, like, I mean, I don't think this game has, like, the sort of reaction commands that Kingdom Hearts 2 had, so, yeah, citation needed. Can you do anything with that moon? And, if not, then, well, I fucked up. Which is, probably gonna be a descriptor for this part, as we've finally defeated Pegleg Pete, and we can finally free the princess and move on to greener pastures, and give my throat a rest from this weary part.
In gratitude for being so brave and saving us all, I hereby officially dub thee Royal Muskateers. Thank you all.
We did it!
Tell us.
All for one, and one for all! All for one, and one for all.
Finally, another Keyblade we'll never use. And on that note, finally we've ended this part. I do apologise if it wasn't really the most enthralling, or if I found myself stumbling in places, but yeah, just a relative lack of foreknowledge. I hope at least that was funny enough to make up for it, but anyway, it's nearly 37 minutes, and you know, we'll check the forecast, but after that I think it's about time we got some sleep. Much like Sora's doing right there. Look at all those dream points we acquired. Yeah, we'll get a few abilities, activate the drop decelerator, and yeah, after that I think it's about time we took a nap, so on that note, I'm Solidus-Skully, and good night.